So, Vanakkam, Namaskaram, Namaste, Salams, Sawubona, and salutations. You know, just 2 weeks ago, I stood on this very platform to celebrate the launch of the 1860 NIC Congress Women's Network, a momentous occasion for our party and for our movement. At that time, I highlighted the remarkable progress we've made up to that point in just 9 months. We've had our own very old media launch of the party. We contested a by-election in Phoenix. We successfully hosted at least 4 fundraisers at the time. We grew our supporter base in KZN as well as Johannesburg. And we officially launched our Women's Network. And now, 2 weeks later, still within the 9-month period of our journey, we are proud to introduce our candidate for Ward 68 in the upcoming local elections, Bishop Roy Naidu. A man of stature, a man of substance, a respected man in his community. Now, for a leader like Bishop Roy Naidu to align himself with me and the 1860 NIC Congress is not just an endorsement of our values, it's a powerful affirmation of our vision. His decision wasn't made lightly. He was fully aware of the drama, the noise, the attempts to discredit him that would follow. He knew that his character would be questioned. But true leaders do not retreat when faced with resistance, when faced with adversity. They rise. And Bishop Naidu has done exactly that. He chose to step out of his comfort zone, face the critics, join the movement where he believes real change is possible. A movement where South Africa belongs to all that live in it. Minorities are given their rightful place at the table. Let me be clear and address this. Pro-Indian stance is not an anti-white stance, it's not an anti-black stance, it's not an anti-colored stance, it's not anti-anyone. In fact, it is pro-equality, pro-representation, pro-truth. The irony, the loudest voices accusing me of being a racist, divisive, etc., aren't from other communities. They are Indian voices. And not just any Indian voices, voices within the ANC sympathizers who fear what this movement might become. Let's not forget, let's remember, Gayton McKenzie, now a minister in the National Assembly, proudly declared a pro-colored agenda. He said colored people need to have a seat at the table. No one called him a racist. What they truly fear, these detractors I do believe, is that we will get a seat at the table. What they do fear is that we might get many seats at the table. Let me be absolutely unapologetic about what we stand for. Why do we exist? 30 years into democracy, why are Indian students subjected to a racist quota system that discriminates against them? Why are our students, Indian students, denied NSFAS funding? Why are our youth, our people, at the back of the employment queue? In fact, so much so that in the current situation, our children don't even submit their CVs because they feel it's going to be pointless. Why are competent Indian employees forced to train others only to watch those others get promoted ahead of them? Why is our rich cultural history ignored? Why is the arrival of Indians in 1860 not even acknowledged in our history books? Why is Diwali one of our biggest celebrations, which is celebrated around the world, New York, New Zealand, Canada, but treated as a non-event here? The very same country that houses arguably one of the largest populations of Indian people outside the motherland of India. After the July unrest, plans were made to build a monument for those who were slain, victims of the July unrest. A noble gesture. But what about the scores of Indian people men, women, children, who were slain in the 1949 and 1985 riots, unrest. Why is there no memorial for them? Do their lives not matter? Why are these tragedies, 1949 and 1985, not acknowledged in our history books, like the Sharpeville massacres? When we raise these issues, we are called racist, divisive, troublemakers. But I tell you here today, we will not be silent anymore. For 30 years, we were sold out by our so-called leaders who never had the courage to speak up for the Indian community. The 1860 NIC Congress is here to place the Indian agenda and the minority agenda firmly on the map, demanding our seat at the table.
Tell her what you must, tell her what you crave, but don't tell her flop, don't tell her with the masala.